Hey guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. Yes, I am pre-recording videos, but today I wanted to do a tag. So, I was perusing through YouTube and came across Sarah's tag on e-readers. And I thought, hey, I like my e-reader. Let's do this tag. So this was originally created by Micah Cummins, and I will link to that video down below. And I'll also link to Sarah's video as well if you guys want to go see that. That's Sarah over at The Bookish Knitter. So this tag has 7 prompts, and the number 8 is the tag fellow booktubers, but I'm with Sarah. I don't know who uses e-readers and who does not, so I'm not going to be tagging. But if you see this tag, then I invite you to do it. So here we go. Prompt number 1. What was the first e-reader you ever owned? What was your reason for getting one? And were you a reluctant convert or an eager one? Okay, so the first part of that is the first e-reader that I ever owned was back in 2014. The 2013 Kindle Paperwhite had just come out. I think this was after the new year that I got that Kindle. It was a little bit smaller than they are now, but it was the Paperwhite. Also, they had the Kindle Fire, but I didn't feel like at the time that I needed all the extras, because you could get on the internet, you could watch YouTube, you could do all kinds of stuff on the Kindle Fire. So I chose the Paperwhite, and I absolutely loved having it. And the reason I got it was because I discovered NetGalley. NetGalley is a site where you can get books to review, and it goes on kind of a score rating thing. So the more you do, the more you review, the higher your score goes up, the better the books you can review. And I discovered that. I'm like, oh, I need a Kindle or an e-reader to do that. So that was why we went and I got a Kindle Paperwhite. I was getting requests from, specific new authors to read their books, and I kind of got interested in the reviewing thing, so then that's when I found NetGalley, and now I don't hardly review books at all anymore. I haven't been to NetGalley for years. My life got super busy, and because as you guys know, in 2017 I had to go back to work, so my life got super busy, and I wasn't reviewing anymore. I was hardly reading books, and so on and so forth. As far as the reluctant convert, I wouldn't say reluctant. I bought it for reviewing books. That was the reason I got the Kindle. I was purely a physical book reader, and I was quite content with that, but I had my Kindle if I felt like reviewing a book. Okay, number 2. What e-reader do you use now, and what e-readers do you own? Okay, now I only own the Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. I got this one, 2021's version, and I just got this one not too long ago. I think it was like the beginning of the year I got it. The beginning of 2022. And now I use it for many more things. I started picking up my Paperwhite, and I saw how full it was because it was only 2 gigs. This one is 8 gigs of space for your books. So I passed my 2013 version to my husband, and then he decided he wanted the new one, so he got one as well. So then the 2013 one went to my oldest daughter, and she has it right now, and she finds it's much easier to read, while she has Roran, which is her youngest. He is 18 months, going to be 19 months, and it's hard to read a book, physically read a book, and hold him at the same time because he's moving and whatnot, and this is just a lot easier. So anyway, she's using that one now. So this is the only e-reader I have, but I also picked up, now called the Amazon Fire. It's no longer called the Kindle Fire, because there's so much more that you do with it. And it comes with the Kindle still, and I still can read on this if I want to. Now, something else that Sarah had mentioned in hers was she was talking about the buttons being on the bottom, and she was talking about how light the paperwhite is, and if you put a cover on it, then it's heavier. And it's true, it is just a little bit heavier. But the reason why I have the cover, not so much to protect the Kindle, because I'm generally pretty careful with my stuff, but because the cover turns on your Kindle if you watch, and it says right here, swipe. So you just swipe. It just automatically turns it on, and you don't have to push any buttons. And then when you're done, it shuts it off. So yeah, that's the reason why I use covers on these. Same with this one, it does the same thing on the Amazon Fire. It opens up, you swipe, I put my code in on here, and then you can close it, and it shuts it off. So I just wanted to touch on that. I didn't know if anybody knew about the covers turning them on and off. So it just makes it so much easier. It's not so bad with this one because they're up here, so you can be on here and just go. But on the Paperwhite, then you're going down here and you're trying to see it against the black, and then you see it and you can turn it on and all this. But the covers just do all that for me. This one's not so bad because the buttons are a little bit brighter on this one. So there's a little lesson on covers. Next one, number 3. Do you read digitally on multiple devices or always on the same device? If you use multiple, how do you decide which one to use? I do use both of these, but mostly I'm using this. Like I said before, to decide what I use is what I'm doing at the moment. Like if I'm on the treadmill, which I told you guys that before, I will take this on the treadmill. I have a platform, I just sit the book on there, and all I gotta do is just tap the page and I'm reading. And it makes the time on the treadmill go so much faster because I'm engrossed in a story. So this one I use the most. The Amazon Fire I will use if, like, I've got a buddy read, but I'm already reading something on here. So then I end up using both of them. So this one, like Sarah had said, is much brighter, so it's a little bit harder to focus on it for any length of time. So I try to keep it, to a minimum because, it can start bothering your eyes. But I don't stare at a computer screen all day because I have Roran and he is busy in the playroom, and that's where I usually am. And usually I'm reading a physical book then, but yeah, there's that. Number 4, do you still read physical books? If so, how do you decide which format to read a certain book in? I think I've mentioned this before. I was reading Imaginary Friend, and the font was really tiny. Then I chose to read that digitally because you can change your font size so that I'm not straining my eyes to read. Now I have my readers. I have to have readers, otherwise I can't read. I can see perfectly well this way, but not when it comes to print in books. I have to have my readers. So yeah, normally, yes, I do still read physical books. Yes, you're getting a sneak peek into my book haul. I will always enjoy physical books. There's just nothing like holding one and going through the pages and flipping the pages from one to the next, as long as that font is a size that I can read. Usually I don't have an issue. Every once in a while a book will come along and the font is really small and it's harder to read. So that's how I determine whether I read a physical book or I read on my e-reader. Okay, number 5. What is something you dislike about reading ebooks? On this one, I'd have to agree with Sarah. The only thing that really bothers me is just the cost of ebooks. I can understand a physical book. Those physical books are something physical, something that you have in your hands, and one book, and that book is worth the money. I mean, I feel like those prices are getting inflated as well. But when you get an ebook that just goes on your e-reader, it's not a physical copy. It's just It's digital. And I don't feel like the prices should be the same cost or more than a physical book, because I've come across that too. So that's really the only bad thing that I see about using the e-reader is just the fact that they cost so much. Because I can't generally get them on loan. My husband had Kindle Unlimited for a short while, where you get 10 in a month or something, and then you return them all. My library is not big enough to fit into that big whatever, where you can go and loan books off of the library site. All you gotta do is put your ID number in there. Well, my library doesn't show up, so I can't go and get books from an online library like that. I can go to Denton, but then you're paying $50 to use. I don't feel like I would use the library enough to warrant spending the $50. So yeah. Number 6. Would you ever ditch physical books completely and become a sole ebook reader? If yes, why? If no, also, why not? I will never completely ditch physical books. This is just my place. My library is my place of solitude. This is where I can come and relax, and I can, sit here among my books, and they give me that feeling of happiness, there's just nothing like holding a book. Like I said before, I just, the smells and reading it and turning the pages and just being excited that you got a new release and, that kind of stuff. I will never just give up physical books ever just to go to an e-reader. Don't get me wrong, I love my e-reader and getting ebooks on here and be able to read them. Or someone says, hey, I want to do this buddy read, I can just get it on my Kindle and read it with them. That's all fantastic as well, but I'll always reach for the physical book first. E-reader is primarily nighttime reading or treadmill reading, and I think it will always be that way for me. Number 7, where do you get your ebooks, Kindle Store, library loans, third-party websites? Well, like I said, I'll go to Amazon. When the prices are lower, like a lot of times you can find really good sales on your ebooks where you're not having to spend $15, $16, $17 on an ebook. A lot of times they've got, I can remember getting the Alex Lake book for $7.99, 7 days that I really wanted to read. Also, when you're on Goodreads and you're actually reading a book on Goodreads, you're reading the synopsis and stuff. But they used to have books over there that were similar to the one that you were reading the synopsis of. And a lot of times if you click on that, you can find a free one there, or you can find a sale book there. So that's very helpful too, if you're trying to read like a favorite genre or something. And also, you can get all the classics for free on Amazon usually. And like I was telling you before about library loans, I can't do that because my library doesn't register. It's just so tiny that it's just not, Ponder's a very small town. Same with Justin, they got a very small library as well. So they're just not recognized. And they're so small that one library card you can use between both of them. Because we live right in between Justin and Ponder. We're like unincorporated Denton County. So you can use one library card for both. That's how small they are. But yeah. Anyway, that is it. Number 8 is tag fellow booktubers. Like Sarah said, I don't know what people read or who reads their e-readers or physical books or what have you. So that is the e-reader book tag. If you do use an e-reader and you see this video, please go ahead and do this and let me know in the comments below if you put a video up on this. But it is really fun. It's fun to find out what other people think about their e-readers. I am purely a Kindle Paperwhite user, and I've enjoyed it since 2014. I've had a Kindle, so yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you use an e-reader. But that is it for me today, guys. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.